So, we put out this video today, and a whole bunch of people were angry about it. I wanted to find out why, so I read all of the comments on the YouTube. I went through all the posts on social media. I went through a whole bunch of different content creators talking about it. Went through a whole bunch of news organizations talking about it. I also talked to some of the staff of Godot and talked to a bunch of staff in the Discord. Let's go into it. After going through all of the statements and reading everything, I found a whole bunch of top comments that were on there, and unfortunately I had to delete a whole bunch of them. The reason why is because people were just saying a bunch of hateful shit. Instead of just wanting to discuss the situation, they paired it up with a whole bunch of personal attacks. And to be real with you, I always get rid of those because those suck. If you want to have a conversation, just have a conversation. Say that something's wrong without being a jackass about it. With that in mind, let's go into the first one. People were saying, that's not even what started this. And you're right. It wasn't. It was not the Discord moderator that started all of this. It was a couple of tweets. And the thing is, I didn't think they were that big of a deal, so we didn't talk about them in the first video. It was context that I left out because it's sort of irrelevant. And we're going to go into why. This was the tweet from Godot. This is the flashpoint that started everything that everybody was mad about. Apparently game engines are woke now? Well then, we won't complain. Rainbow emoji. Show us your hashtag Wokont games below. This is not that big of a deal. This is a really milquetoast post, honestly. If this horrifies you or butt wrestles you so much that you have to shit violently into the internet, you should probably go outside. A lot of people are angry because they say, oh, there was no reason for Godot to post this in the first place. Except there kind of was. It was this. Godot posted this because they were trying to reply to a post that they thought everybody else had seen, when in reality it was just a couple of jackasses responding to a tweet. And Godot misstepped thinking that they had actually, reached far farther than they actually had. So let's look at this. Awesome. Game engine. It's Unreal Engine 5. Oh, so you people just can't develop for shit. It makes sense, doesn't it? Woke studios always use pre-built engines to make games because they can't build their own engines. Obviously just hateful posts, and factually untrue. There are studios from indie all the way up to AAA all over the world that use pre-built engines. And the reason they do that is because it's cost savings. There's no reason to build a custom engine unless you have functionality that can't be done in those pre-builds. Pre-builds are the greatest way to go and make stuff to cut savings for your studio. That's why so many studios do this. And I'll give you an example of a couple games that needed their own custom engines. Games like Fez or Noita. Those games required custom engines because they have functionality that doesn't work in any other engine. Fez had the amazing 2D to 3D levels that couldn't exist in anything else at the time, and a bunch of other effects that they had throughout the game. And Noita has every single pixel being a material that can interact with every other pixel. Incredibly intensive in any other engine. So they made the Falling Sand engine, or Falling Everything engine, rather, to go and do this. Those are the reasons to do that. When you have a need, a necessity to be able to do this. There's no reason otherwise. So ridiculous statements and not that big of a deal tweet. And if you're really upset about that, like I said, the internet's going to be a rough place for you. So then number 2. The guy who was the titanium level backer was banned for telling him to keep out of politics. He did tell him to keep out of politics. Except he didn't just do it on Twitter. And it wasn't that one tweet that did this. He spammed them across all of their social medias, everywhere he possibly could. He tried to shit stir everywhere. And then they banned him for it. They blocked him on Twitter. They blocked him on Discord. They blocked him everywhere they possibly could. And the thing that's really interesting about this is I would have done the same, man. Just because you're a financial backer doesn't give you a right to act like a jackass. And if you're shit-stirring inside of a community, of course they're going to get rid of you. That happens anywhere. It's not a freedom of speech problem. It's you being a jackass. It's the same thing that's going to happen if you walk into your friend group and just start shouting at people. They're not going to hang out with you anymore. Same shit on the internet. It's really not that hard to understand. And for those who are like, oh, wait a minute, they banned him. They banned him from the GitHub. Except they didn't. And he talks about that here. He was not banned on GitHub. He said it himself. That was literally a statement that someone made on the internet and then telephone game to everybody else, and they all believed it to the point that they went and talked to him about it, and he said he wasn't banned. So no, that backer was not banned. In fact, no backers seem to have been banned because I can't find any evidence of this anywhere. Let's go back to number 3. Godot Cafe is the official Discord. No, it's not. It's actually discord.gg/Godot engine, as shown on their website. It's linked from their website directly. They used to have no official Discord, but they made one in June 2024, which was only 4 months ago. But that being said, the reason they did it was because they found that they didn't have an official Discord, and all these other Discords were ones that they didn't have control over. Everything else has always been an unofficial fan Discord. And I can understand that a small organization wouldn't want to run their own Discord. That brings on extra moderation capabilities and everything else that goes along with running a social community on the internet. You have to build up to get there. And fan communities run faster than you, but they carry the risk of drama and bullshit like this. So yeah, it's not their official Discord, never has been, no matter how much people want it to be, so that they can fit that narrative. It's not. Next one is, they banned tons of people from the GitHub, including the backer. We already covered the backer not being banned. He actually talked about that, as I said on here, right? And where are the tons of other backers that got banned? This seems to have come from this post from Pirate Nation. Godot engine is also blocking people on GitHub. This looks like it's banning a whole bunch of people. It makes it seem like lots of people are getting banned by this. Makes it seem like it's a widespread issue. It adds fuel to that fire. Except the only people that I could find that they blocked on GitHub were ones doing shit like this. This is an official issue on the Godot engine GitHub. And it's from people going in there and trolling with fake issues. I'm going broke because of going woke previously. This kind of shit would get banned on a GitHub. And I can't find any other posts from anyone stating that they had been banned at all from the GitHub. These kinds of things also carry a generic message when you get banned, just like this. There's no messages on here showing the actual account. None at all. Even though it's got 19,000 likes and a whole bunch of comments saying that they're pissed off about the situation and how dare Godot ban anyone, with, again, zero context. Why are people getting up in arms about things that they have no information over? That's absurd. Next one, they banned the creators of Godot. No, they didn't. And they used proof of this saying, oh, they banned the creators of Godot because his tweets are protected. Except his tweets are protected because he left Twitter on his own volition and went to Mastodon. Specifically, will chill from Twitter X until after the US elections. Almost all the hate Godot got over the weekend was pretty much people who had not a clue what a game engine is, what Godot is, or what FOSS community-made project is. Most of the ones who did were the usual haters. Juan Leonetsky, if I can actually say his name correctly, I don't even know if I am there, is one of the creators. The other one is Ariel Manzu, who doesn't appear to have social media. One turned off his Twitter due to that. He's not been banned from the project. He's even got Mastodon posts in there saying that he's still working on it, everything that he's working on. So it came to me in a dream is not a good source of information. The next one is Godot is using emails from their contact form to ban people from the Git repo. This is what I like to call a combo conspiracy. There was a conspiracy about Godot's unbanned form saying, oh, they're harvesting emails so they can attack you later. There's no evidence of them attacking anyone with that. They're putting that in there so they can get your contact information so they can reach back out to you to unban you in case they need to. It's normal shit. We do the exact same thing when people get banned on our Twitch. They actually have to put in an unban request with that information. If they get banned on Discord, they have to contact us through another means. In fact, we're trying to build a system right now so that people can get unbanned on other platforms because Discord doesn't have a good unban system. I understand the use of a form in this case. And everyone drilling down on like, oh my God, the emails. Of course you're going to ask for email. It's a better way to contact people than using a shitty form, especially if they put in some bad information. You want to reach out to them further so that person doesn't sit there thinking, why didn't they unban me? Because you have no other way of contacting them back. So yeah, get those emails. And no, nobody's being banned en masse from the GitHub repo. To be real with you, all this looks like a whole bunch of bullshit traveling faster on the internet. And it looks like a whole bunch of people just taking things at face value and believing them out of hand. Trust but verify. Trust that people are telling the truth and then verify their claim. And if you can't verify the claims that people are making on the internet, stop spreading them to others. It's making you and everyone else dumber by doing this.